Hello student, good morning. How you all are? Are you all studying? Now, today I am going to start Geography, Chapter 8, Climate of India. Okay? As you know that our chapter name is Climate of India. Now, what is climate? Do you know student? Climate is the average weather condition of a place over a large period of time. Remember it. Climate is the average weather condition of a place over a large period of time. How can we understand this? For example, our country experiences great variations in climate. How? The places which is far away from the sea in our country, in those places, they are very hot in summers and very cold in winters. And Jammu and Kashmir part, you all know this. Jammu and Kashmir are freezing cold throughout the year. But the southern part of India, which is closer to the equator, remains hot throughout the year. If we see in all over the world, we can see that there are variations of climate everywhere. Now, how it is possible? There are many factors which affect the climate that we will go deeply. The climate of a place is affected by many factors. Some factors are given here, that is temperature, humidity, atmospheric pressure, wind, precipitation, atmospheric particle, atmospheric particle count, and other meteorological variables in a given region over long periods of time. Other factors are location, altitude, distance from the sea, mountain, and relief. Now, what is the difference between climate and weather? Weather stands for actual atmospheric condition for a short period, a day or two. But climate is the aggregate of atmospheric condition for larger period, 35 to 36 years. Weather changes from day to day and cannot be generalized. Climate is the weather condition prevailing in an area in general or over a long period. It does not change so frequently. Next is the weather depends upon the dominant elements of a particular time, say rainfall or temperature. But climate is the composite picture of all the elements spread over a large period. Weather is actually present at a place, it is what we get. Climate is what we expect, it is arrived at by climate, means or average. Broadly, the major seasons recognized in India are summer, monsoon, retreat of the monsoon, and winter. India's climate is greatly influenced by the Himalayas, which provide a barrier to the cold winds from Central Asia and protect the northern plains from the cold winds. See this map, students. This is climatic regions of India. It is because of the Himalayas that most of the Indian subcontinent is warmer than most locations in similar latitudes. The Himalayas also force the monsoon winds to shed their moisture and bring rainfall to the northern parts of the country. Places situated on the slopes of the mountain range have colder climate, due to which they are popular resorts during extreme summers in other parts of the country. See this map, students. What you see in this map? You can see that the Tropic of Cancer passes through the middle of the country, and this makes its climate more tropical. India is a big tropical country and is famous for its diverse climatic features. The overall weather pattern of a place is called its climate. India has tropical monsoon type of climate. Now another factor you can see in this map, topographic map of India. This is topographic map of India. You can see this that temperature decreases with height above sea level. Mountain tops are capped with snow even when it is very hot in the plains. Hill stations like Nainital and Shimla are colder than other places in the plains, which are located on the same latitude. Ooty, located quite close to the equator in the south, has a cool climate because it is a hill station and is a higher altitude. And if we see that distance from the sea, so India has sea on three sides and thus has a long coastline. The moderating influence of the sea makes the climate of cold coastal areas moderate. Mumbai, Chennai, and Goa are neither hot nor cold throughout the year. Places which are far away from the sea, such as Delhi, Kanpur, and Jaipur, have extreme climates. They are very hot in summers and very cold in winters. Latitude. Next factor is latitude. The Tropic of Cancer passes through the middle of India. Half of the country lying to the south of the Tropic of Cancer falls in the tropical region and has tropical climate. The places which is located at lower latitude, such as Trivandrum and Kochi, are hot throughout the year. Other half of the country lying north of the Tropic of Cancer has subtropical climates. Places like Delhi in the northern plains experience hot summers and cold winters. Winds. Another factor is winds. The southwest monsoon winds blowing from June to September bring rain to the entire country. During winters, cold winds from the north lower the temperature at many places in the northern plains. Now, another factor is wind. Wind is the horizontal movement of air. Wind blows from a region of high pressure to a region of low pressure. The greater the differences in pressure between two places, the faster the air will move. The main cause of wind is the unequal heating of the atmosphere by the sun, resulting in differences in the pressure between places. Meteorologists study wind by measuring the wind's direction and speed. Winds are usually named after the direction they originate from. India is influenced by southeasterly monsoon winds. This implies that the monsoon winds originate from the southeastern direction. Thus, a wind coming from east to west is called an easterly wind. If the earth was stationary, the direction of all winds would have been north to south in the northern hemisphere. But the earth moves from west to east, and due to the rotation on its axis, the winds are deflected. This force is called Coriolis force. According to Farrell's law, winds are deflected towards the right in the northern hemisphere and towards the left in the southern hemisphere. Thus, a wind that would normally blow from north to south deflects towards the east. A good example of this are the northeast trade winds. The direction of the wind also affects the temperature of a place. Winds coming from warmer areas increase the temperature of a place, whereas the wind coming from colder regions decrease the temperature of a place. Regions near the desert have high temperatures, while the places near the poles have cold temperatures. Thunderstorms are seen in the northeastern and eastern parts of Bihar, Assam, and West Bengal. In the plains of northwest India, hot and dry winds, along with dust winds, are frequently experienced. These hot, dry, dust-laden strong winds, called Lu, blow during the day in northern India. Towards the end of summer season, many parts of India experience pre-monsoon showers. In Kerala and Karnataka, these pre-monsoon showers are called mango showers, as they help in the early ripening of mangoes. Next is summer monsoon winds and winter monsoon winds. Except for the east coast of Tamil Nadu, the rest of India gets its rainfall from the summer monsoon. The northern and northeast western India becomes extremely hot by the end of May, and as a result, there is a low pressure zone in this region. Look at the map above. The air from the sea is comparatively cooler at that time and has a higher pressure zone. Since winds blow from high pressure areas to low pressure areas, the wind blows from Arabian Sea and Bay of Bengal on towards the land. They carry moisture with them. When these winds strike the mountains, they cause rainfall. The monsoon winds enter India from the southwest direction, so they are also called southwest monsoon. This monsoon brings rain to most parts of India. When the moisture-laden winds from Indian Ocean reach the southernmost point of Indian peninsula, they are divided into two parts. Arabian Sea branch of southwest monsoon, and next is Bay of Bengal branch of southwest monsoon. The Arabian Sea branch strikes Kerala in the southern tip of Indian peninsula in the first week of June. It moves northwards and sheds most of its moisture in the windward side of Western Ghat, resulting in heavy rain in Malabar coast. By the time it reaches Chennai on the east coast, it has shed most of its moisture. That is why Chennai hardly gets any rain from the Arabian Sea branch of southwest monsoon. Bay of Bengal branch runs parallel to eastern coast, and so it does not shed rain in Chennai. Bay of Bengal branch picks up moisture from the Bay of Bengal. It travels over Bangladesh and spills into two streams. One stream moves towards northeast India and Meghalaya and Assam. Meghalaya and Assam get heavy rainfall. Moisaram in Meghalaya receives over 1000 centimeters of annual rainfall from the Bay of Bengal branch of monsoon. The other stream moves towards Bengal. It gets diverted by the Himalayas towards Ganga plain and northwestern India. The rainfall gradually decreases as the monsoon moves westward, because the monsoon wind lose their moisture as they move towards west. That is why while Kolkata receive 160 centimeters of rainfall, Delhi receive only 65 centimeters of rainfall, and Rajasthan receive less than 30 centimeters of rainfall. In the northwestern part of Ganga plain, the Arabian Sea branch and the Bay of Bengal branch merge. Delhi generally receives monsoon showers from the Bay of Bengal branch. Now next is winter monsoon wind. In this, by October the temperatures in northern India begin to fall as the sun shifts towards the southern hemisphere. High pressure conditions developed over the northern regions and a low pressure zone develops over the Bay of Bengal. Look at the map below. The monsoon winds gradually start retreating and blow from land to sea. Since they blow from northeast direction, they are known as northeast monsoon winds. By November, the withdrawal of monsoon is complete. This season is called the season of the retreating monsoons. The southern part of India, particularly Tamil Nadu and Andhra Pradesh, receive rainfall in this season. The northeast monsoon winds gather moisture from Bay of Bengal and bring rain to the Coromandel coast. The low pressure area over Bay of Bengal causes tropical cyclone over the Bay of Bengal. The coastal area of Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Orissa and Ganga Brahmaputra Delta are very prone to cyclone during this season. This cyclone brings widespread destruction in the area. It is a transition period from hot rainy season to dry winter season. Since the sun shifts to southern hemisphere, during this time the temperature decreases considerably as we move from south to north. The winters in the northern plains and the Thar desert are cold and dry. Temperature ranges from 10 degrees Celsius minus 15 degrees Celsius. In the Himalayan region and the desert region, the temperature falls below 0 degrees Celsius. The Himalayan region experiences heavy snowfall, and as a result of that, the northern plains experiences a cold wave. Southern India has relatively higher temperatures because of the moderating influence of the sea. The Coromandel coast receives rainfall during this period. Next is western disturbances. The cold weather is generally characterized by clear skies, low temperatures, low humidity, and light and cool winds. These conditions are disturbed by cyclones coming from the Mediterranean Sea. These cyclone winds are known as western disturbances. And due to this western disturbances, we get rain in winter. Next is the distance from the sea. The sea has a moderating influence on the regions near it. The region near the sea does not experience extreme climates. As the distance from the sea increases, the region experiences extreme climatic condition known as continental climate. That is, the summers are very hot and the winters are very cold. Cycle of seasons. Temperature, pressure, conditions, prevailing winds, the amount and distribution of rainfall cause the seasonal changes in India. Besides, there are some local winds that influence the climate of areas in which these prevail. The seasons occur year after year as a pattern. The four distinct seasons are cold weather season or winter, December to Feb, hot weather season or summer, March to May, advancing monsoon or rainy season or southwest monsoon, June to September, retreating monsoon, October and November. Now the cold weather season. When the sun shifts to southern hemisphere during this time, the temperature decreases considerably as we move from south to north. The winters in the northern plains and the Thar deserts are cold and dry. Temperature ranges from 10 degrees Celsius to 15 degrees Celsius. In the Himalayan region and the desert region, the temperature falls below 0 degrees Celsius. The Himalayan region experiences heavy snowfall, and as a result of that, the northern plains experience a cold wave. Southern India has relatively higher temperatures because of the moderating influence of the sea. The Coromandel coast receives rainfall during this period. The hot weather season. The season starts in early March and continues till the end of May, and in some areas till the end of June. During these months, the temperature starts rising as hot and dry weather conditions prevail throughout the country except the coastal plains. During the month of March, the highest temperature recorded in the Peninsular Plateau region is about 38 degrees Celsius. The belt of high temperatures shift northwards in the month of April. During the month of May, the region of highest temperature of about 45 degrees Celsius lies in the northwestern part of our country. Such high temperatures are not recorded in South India, where the mean temperature is about 30 degrees Celsius. Even the minimum temperature does not fall below 20 degrees Celsius, due to which the nights are also warm. In the summer season, hot and dry winds called Lu blow over large part of northern plains. Dust storms in evening are common. Some areas get light rain, which provide temporary relief from the oppressive heat. Nor'westers are thunderstorms that start in March and continue to blow till the onset of monsoon over northeast India. This causes large-scale damage to life and property. Towards the end of the summer season, many parts of India experience pre-monsoon showers. In Kerala and Karnataka, these pre-monsoon showers are called mango showers as they help in the early ripening of mangoes. This is also called southwest monsoon season. This season runs from June to September. During this month, the southwest monsoon winds blow northwards in two branches from the Arabian Sea and the Bay of Bengal. They give rainfall to the whole of northern India. The winds blow from the oceanic high pressure areas towards the low pressure areas of the land and give heavy rainfall. The Arabian Sea branch causes heavy rainfall exceeding 300 cm along the coastal areas of the Western Ghats, but this rainfall decreases as the monsoon go further. You know, students, thus the Deccan Plateau and the Eastern Ghats receive less rainfall as they are situated in the rain shadow area. Another Arabian Sea branch causes good rainfall in Chota Nagpur plateau, but the Thar desert gets little rainfall because there are no hills to check these winds. The Bay of Bengal branch strikes against the Himalayas and causes heavy rainfall on the hills of Assam. Maheshwaram receives more than 1000 centimeters of rainfall annually. You heard about Maheshwaram, I think. Maheshwaram receives the highest rainfall in the world as the monsoon winds take a turn from east to west because of the Himalayas. Then the rain goes on decreasing. As such, when Kolkata receives a rainfall of 119 centimeter, Allahabad gets 76 centimeter and Delhi gets 56 centimeter. Almost the whole of India get rain from these monsoon except Tamil Nadu. They strike Kerala in the beginning of June and the entire country comes under their influence in a month's time. But even during this period, the rains are seldom continuous. Rainless intervals may follow heavy showers. Due to uncertainty and uneven distribution of rainfall, floods and droughts are common during this season. We notice water famine even in Konkan area of Maharashtra, which otherwise gets heavy rainfall. This is due to rapid runoff and quick evaporation of rainwater. In June, the low pressure in north intensifies. It attracts the southwest trade winds from subtropical area of southern oceans. They cross the equator and blow in a southwest and enter in Indian peninsula. They move from sea to land, so bring abundant moisture. Now next is the retreating monsoon. This season runs from October to November. In this season the sky is usually clear and humidity is low. At this time, the monsoon starts retreating. The months of October and November form a period of transition from hot rainy season to dry winter conditions. The lower temperatures on the plains give rise to gradual increase in pressure as such as the monsoon retreat from most part of North India. Tamil Nadu receives high rainfall from these winds during this period during the winter. The retreating monsoons are laden with moisture when they pass over the Bay of Bengal and cause rainfall in Tamil Nadu. Just you have, I think, just before a few days you heard about the cyclone. Cyclone came in Tamil Nadu. So that is also a part of retreating monsoon. The period of transition when low pressure area is transferred from northwest of India to the Bay of Bengal is marked by the formation of cyclones. Sometimes these cyclones get such great speed that they become devastating. They cause great havoc to life and property when they strike the east coast of India. Sometimes they hit Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, sometimes Odisha, and at other times they strike against the coast of West Bengal and Bangladesh. Every time they bring devastation and death in their wake. They caused havoc in Bangladesh in 1970, Andhra Pradesh in 1977, and then again in 1997. But who can forget this disaster and ruin which they brought to Odisha in October 1999? It left more than 10,000 people dead beside devastating vast areas. In October 2014, Cyclone Hudhud affected Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Odisha, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, and Nepal. It claimed a total of 98 lives. So, this is known as retreating monsoon. Sometimes it became very harmful for many parts of country. In 2012, the coastal areas down south were vastly affected by Neelam cyclone. Cyclone Neelam has struck the southeastern coast of India, bringing with it severe flooding and winds almost as strong as superstorm Sandy. Neelam, which formed over the Bay of Bengal, looked to be headed straight for the Sri Lankan coast. Fortunately, Sri Lanka, which is still rebuilding after decades, long was avoided the worst of the storm. 22 people have been killed in Andhra Pradesh as heavy rains continued to batter several regions under the influence of cyclone Neelam. Now see this map. This map shows the distribution of rainfall in India. The rainfall of India is not evenly distributed. It is mainly attributed to the relief features of the land and direction of the wind. The distribution can be divided into four main categories as follows: regions under very heavy rainfall, then regions under heavy rainfall, then regions under moderate rainfall, then regions under low rainfall. Now the regions which receive highest rainfall. The western coastal area and slopes of the Western Ghat get very heavy rainfall from the southwest monsoon of the Arabian Sea branch, while the eastern slopes of the Western Ghats lie in the rain shadow area. In the northern plains, the rainfall decreases from east to west as the Bay of Bengal branch of the southwest monsoon sheds its moisture all along up the Ganga Valley. This branch of southwest monsoon gets deflected by the Arakan mountains of Myanmar and then moves up the Ganga plains. A sub-branch of the same Bay of Bengal southwest monsoon moves east and gets trapped in the mountains and enters the Brahmaputra valley. At this point it is forced to rise suddenly through a tunnel shaped valley near the Khasi hills, past part of the eastern Himalayas where heavy rains occur. In short, the monsoon originating from the Bay of Bengal is blocked by the Khasi Jaintia Hills and then East Himalayan ranges cause heavy rainfall in northeast India. In this way, Moenshram near Cherrapunji in Meghalaya on the windward side of the northeastern hills gets one of the highest rainfall in the world, recording about 1042 centimeter in a year. However, Shillong is the neighborhood gets only 200 centimeter of rain. Now we can see again in this map that the regions which comes under heavy rainfall. The area that receive 100 to 200 centimeter of rainfall come under this category. The southeastern coast of India receives a moderate amount of rainfall during the winter season from the northeast monsoon and retreating southwest monsoon. Again, the amount of rain decreases with monsoonal movement from the south to the north and east to west. Now, in this map, we can see the regions which come under moderate rainfall. That area which receive 50 to 100 centimeter of rainfall comes under this category. This area includes Gujarat, eastern Rajasthan, western Uttar Pradesh, Haryana, northern Punjab, and most of the Deccan, surrounded by hills on all the sides. Parts of West Bengal, eastern Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, and Punjab receive moderate rainfall from the Bay of Bengal. Monsoon branch, Odisha, and Madhya Pradesh are also included under the regions receiving moderate rainfall. Now the regions which comes under low rainfall. The area that receive less than 50 centimeter annual rainfall fall under this category. Northern Ladakh in Kashmir, Kinnaur and Lahul Spiti in Himachal Pradesh receive very little rainfall as they lie beyond the reach of the monsoon of Karakoram and the Great Himalayas. When they reach there, they are already dry. These areas, however, do get snowfall in winter from the western disturbances. This gives rainfall to Punjab and Haryana in the plains. In Rajasthan, the Aravalli hills run parallel to the direction of the winds, and these winds are warmed while passing over the Rajasthan desert. This increases the capacity of the winds to retain moisture and cause scanty rainfall. Now, our next topic is weather forecast of India. The meteorological satellites provide a synoptic measurement of weather parameters at frequent intervals. The satellites' images on cloud cover and various parameters such as wind, rainfall, sea, surface, temperature, etc. have become an integral part of weather forecasting. The prediction of weather in the tropical regions like India is a major challenge due to the complex and dynamic nature weather system. The day-to-day change of weather elements such as rainfall, temperature, wind speed, and humidity are the important meteorological parameters to be monitored on a continuous basis. The satellite's image on cloud cover and various parameters such as winds, rainfall, sea surface, temperature, etc. have become an integral part of weather forecasting. Okay, students, thank you.